the echoes linger for years. In Sister Wives Season 19, Meri and Christine Brown face two very different crossroads, but both reveal the same haunting truth: the cost of love unreturned and a family torn apart. One waits endlessly for the man who may never come. The other pleads for children who feel abandoned by their father. And the climax? A revelation that forces every fan to ask, can this family ever be healed, or has the Brown legacy shattered forever?
These drinks always have these really crazy names. I'm always like, who makes up these names?
I've never had a slippery nipple. I have no idea what one is.
Part 1. For decades, Meri Brown was the dutiful first wife of Kody Brown. She sacrificed her independence, her dreams, and even her happiness, waiting for love to bloom in a marriage that was never equal. But by season 19, that marriage was ashes. Christine had left. Janelle had stepped away. Robin clung to Kody. And Meri, she lingered in the shadows of uncertainty, unable to step fully into freedom. Meri had Lizzie's Heritage Inn, her sanctuary in Utah, a bed breakfast, a symbol of independence. Yet, she couldn't decide if she should expand it, sell it, or simply wait. Why? Because in her heart, she still dreamed of a future partner, a man who might one day shape those choices for her. Her life was on pause, every decision deferred, every hope pinned on a love that might never come. But fans didn't see resilience in this waiting. They saw tragedy. Viewers erupted online. They begged Meri to break free, to take charge, to finally live for herself. But Meri hesitated. Why? Because the ghost of her marriage to Kody still haunted her steps. She had given him her youth, her loyalty, her trust, and in return, she received rejection, distance, and betrayal. In season 19, this hesitation reached a boiling point. Fans weren't just sad for her, they were furious. And then came the twist. Meri hinted that she might walk away, that she might finally claim her freedom. But instead of triumph, fans felt frustration, because each time Meri seemed ready to leap, she stepped back into the shadows of waiting. The backlash was swift, raw, and louder than ever before. For many, Meri's struggle wasn't just entertainment. It was a mirror of women who've sacrificed too much for too long. Meri's story is more than reality TV drama. It's about the silent battles women fight in toxic relationships, the way hope can become a cage, and the painful truth that sometimes waiting for love means losing yourself. For some fans, Meri is an inspiration, proof that healing takes time. For others, she is a cautionary tale of what happens when you never choose your own worth. But what happens next could redefine Meri's legacy forever. In the end, Meri Brown's journey isn't over. Season the 19th of May show her trapped between past and future, but her story resonates with thousands of women across America. Women who've waited, who've hoped, who've wondered, when is it finally my time? Perhaps the greatest twist isn't whether Meri finds a man, but whether she finally finds herself. If you believe Meri deserves her freedom, hit that like button and comment "Choose Yourself, Meri" below. Part 2. He doesn't know them anymore. That's the chilling truth Christine lays bare. For years, she carried the emotional weight of raising 6 children with Kody. But as the marriage unraveled, so too did his connection with the very kids who once adored him. The Browns once sold America on the dream of a plural family united in love. But behind closed doors, cracks spread. And now, in season 19, those cracks have split into chasms. Christine speaks candidly. Kody's absence didn't just start with their separation. It grew over years of tension, favoritism, and neglect. For the children, it felt like rejection. For Christine, it was proof she had to walk away. But here's the part fans didn't expect. Christine doesn't just expose Kody's distance, she reveals how it continues to haunt the children even now. The fallout is brutal. Teenagers refusing to visit. Adult children cutting ties. Phone calls left unanswered. Christine paints the picture of a father who no longer knows what his kids are going through. Their milestones, their struggles, their very lives. And fans couldn't stay silent. Social media exploded with anger, not just at Kody, but at the years of silence that allowed this fracture to grow. But here's the twist. Christine admits that even though the marriage is over, she still wants Kody to step up as a father. She doesn't want her children to lose him entirely. This wasn't an attack. It was a desperate plea. In that moment, fans realized the issue wasn't Christine versus Kody. It was the children versus absence, and that twist reshaped the entire conversation. The backlash was overwhelming. Thousands of fans rallied behind Christine, applauding her bravery for speaking out. Others condemned Kody, calling him a man who had traded family for pride. And still, a few defended him, arguing that polygamy itself made closeness impossible. But Christine's words did more than fuel fan debates. They exposed the hidden truth of separation, the way children inherit the pain long after papers are signed. And the question that lingers, can these wounds ever heal, or are the Browns destined to remain divided? In the end, Christine Brown's courage wasn't about shaming her ex-husband. It was about shining light on the brokenness and fighting for her children's right to be loved by both parents. Season the 19th of May captured the fallout, but Christine's voice ensures the truth is no longer hidden. Kody Brown may still have time to rebuild, but if he doesn't, Christine's revelation will stand as a warning to fathers everywhere. Love your children before it's too late. If you believe Christine was right to speak out, hit the like button and drop a comment saying, "Stand with Christine." Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. Meri Brown, the first wife. Christine Brown, the third. Two women who gave decades of loyalty to a man who promised unity. But by 2025, that promise was broken. The family had fractured into pieces, scattered like glass across the desert. Meri, isolated with her bed breakfast in Utah, hesitated to move forward. Christine, free from her marriage, still carried the burden of children caught between loyalty and loss. Their journeys, though different, told one story: what happens when a man's choices ripple through generations. And just when fans thought the worst was behind the Browns, Season 19 revealed otherwise. Meri's inn, Lizzie's heritage, stood as a symbol of her independence, but instead of expanding, selling, or boldly owning her future, she froze. Why? Because in her heart, she waited for a partner who might never come, waited for love to dictate her choices instead of her own voice. For fans, it wasn't strength they saw in her pause. It was heartbreak. One YouTube commenter wrote, "Meri is holding her breath for a man. She deserves to breathe for herself. But while Meri's story was one of waiting, Christine's was one of speaking, and her words would ignite a firestorm. Christine, in a season 19 confessional, dropped the words that fans still replay. He doesn't know them anymore. She wasn't speaking of herself. She was speaking of Kody's children. The man who once carried toddlers on his shoulders now struggled to even call them. This wasn't divorce, this was absence. Christine wasn't angry for herself. She was grieving for her children. But what Christine revealed next turned sadness into outrage. Christine admitted she still wants Kody in their lives. Not for her, but for them. For the kids who feel unseen. For the birthdays missed. The graduations unattended. The milestones he didn't even ask about. The twist? Christine wasn't condemning Kody. She was pleading for him. Fans expected anger, but what they got was heartbreak wrapped in hope. The backlash was immediate. On Reddit, thousands demanded accountability. He gave Robin everything and left the others behind. On Facebook, women wrote of their own fathers. I know what Christine's kids feel. I lived it too. This wasn't just about the Browns anymore. It was about divorce in America, about mothers carrying the load while fathers disappeared, about children growing up wondering if they were worth the effort. And here's the chilling truth. Meri's hesitation and Christine's confession aren't separate stories. They're two sides of the same coin. Meri waits for a man who may never come. Christine waits for a father who may never return to his children. Both reveal the same wound, the pain of loving someone who cannot love you back the way you need. The climax of season 19 is not about marriage. It's about worth. It's about women learning that love is not something you wait for, it's something you demand. And if it isn't given, you choose yourself. For more than a century, the practice of plural marriage has lived in tension with American law. From the 19th century federal crackdown on Mormon polygamy to modern-day TLC cameras following the Browns, this lifestyle has always existed in the shadows of both fascination and controversy. For Meri and Christine, their personal struggles are inseparable from this broader history. Add a slow montage of Season 3 birthdays, Season 6 vacations, and Season 17, Christine's official split. Narration. Fans remember the early days, the laughter of children around campfires, the promises of forever, but looking back now, those moments feel like echoes from another world. Experts in family counseling call this a learned waiting. When someone invests so many years in a relationship that moving forward feels impossible, even when love is gone. Meri's hesitation at Lizzie's inn is more than indecision. It is the weight of decades pressing on a single choice. Reddit user. Meri is the ghost of her own story, always waiting for Kody or for someone else to write her next chapter. Facebook group comment. She could be thriving, but instead she's trapped in hope. While Christine is not pursuing legal custody battles, since most of the kids are grown, the emotional custody is clear. Who gets their trust? Who gets their love? For Christine, it is not about legal rights. It is about emotional presence. Insert a reflective comparison. Just as Meri once sought affection outside the marriage in desperation, Christine now points to the emotional absence that drove a wedge between father and children. Christine isn't bitter, She's brokenhearted for her kids. I wish my dad had tried as hard as Christine is begging Kody to. This show stopped being about polygamy. It's about emotional abandonment. Family therapists explain that children often interpret parental absence as proof they are unworthy of love. Christine's tearful plea may have been aimed at Kody, but in truth, it was a shield to protect her children from that devastating belief. Add more detail. One Reddit thread with over 2,000 comments exploded within hours of the episode airing. Women shared their own stories of absent fathers, broken marriages, and the generational scars they carry. Commentators across YouTube and blogs pointed out, Christine's words reflect a wider pattern. In American households, after divorce, mothers often carry 80% of the parenting weight, while fathers retreat into silence. Christine's confession gave those statistics a human face. Meri's waiting and Christine's pleading are parallel stories. Both women represent different responses to neglect. Meri internalizes her pain and pauses her life, while Christine externalizes hers, begging for the children's healing. Yet both outcomes reveal the same core. Love withheld leaves, scars that time alone cannot erase. From the early Mormon pioneers who justified plural marriage as sacred, to modern reality TV stars whose lives are dissected by millions, the cycle of sacrifice continues. But for Meri and Christine, the real question is not about faith, culture, or ratings. It's about whether they can rewrite their stories before it is too late. If you believe Meri and Christine deserve better, hit that like button and comment "Choose Yourself" below. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll continue uncovering the truths TLC doesn't show you. And remember, their story is not just theirs, it's ours.